Hi. Hello, boys and girls. Thank you so much for coming to read with Miss Black again and again and again and again. I'm so glad to see you and happy, happy, happy. You know me. You know what? I don't always wear my crazy hats in case you don't notice, but I do have a lot of crazy scarves that I like to wrap around my head. I just like having fun. So I hope you enjoy them too and have fun with me. You have crazy hats and you know that you're coming to read with Miss Black, go put your crazy hat on. Put a crazy coat on, a crazy top, just whatever you want to do to have fun. Okay? I'm going to give you a minute to get all cozy and comfy because I am reading Caps for Sale. I didn't realize I was reading Caps for Sale when I was sitting here talking about all my hats. Oh my goodness, what a coincidence. Anyway, the title of this book is Caps for Sale. And I know you're going to love it because it's one of my favorite books. Might want to run out and buy you a copy. Here it goes. You ready? Once there was a peddler who sold caps. He was not like an ordinary peddler. That means someone who sells things, a peddler. Carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First, he had on his own checkered cap, then a bunch of gray caps, then a bunch of brown caps, then a bunch of blue caps, and on the very top, a bunch of red caps. Now, you know that's a silly peddler. He walked up and down the streets, holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. Oh, that's not moving. As he went along, he called, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up the street and he walked down the streets calling, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. But nobody wanted any caps that morning. Nobody wanted even a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. I think I'll go for a walk in the country, he said, and he walked out of town slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his cap. Speaking of hungry, I think I'm going to have a piece of cheese. There we go. He's walking slow with his hats on his head, caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. That's a nice place for a rest, he thought. And he sat down very slowly under the tree and leaned back a little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. And he put up his hand to feel if they were straight. First, his own checkered cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. All the caps are still there. They're not going anywhere. They were all there. So he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. They're showing you the sun where he's sleeping. The warmth of the sun is making him sleepy. When he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. There he is. That's the way I feel when I wake up from my nap. But before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure his caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own checkered cap. Oh my goodness, can't wait to find out what happened. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. I know you're already wondering what happened to his caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? Looks like on every branch sat a monkey. On every monkey was a gray or a brown or a blue or a red cap. Oh my, what in the world? Another new book. My pages are sticking. The peddler looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. What do you say to a bunch of monkeys who takes your cats? You monkeys, you, he said, shaking his finger at them. You give me back my cats. But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, pick it up. This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, you monkeys, you give me back my caps. But the monkeys only shook both their hands back at him and said, tis, tis, tis. Those are not nice monkeys. Now he felt quite angry. He stamped his foot. He said, you monkeys, you better give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and says, tis, tis, tis. Stomp your feet. Let me see you stomp your feet. Ah, now you know how he felt. By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet, stamp your feet, and shouted, you monkeys, you must give me back my caps. But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, my goodness gracious. At last, he became so angry that he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. I'm feeling kind of sad for the peddler. How about you? I know I would be sad if someone came and took my hats. But then each monkey pulled off his cap. Do you think those monkeys started feeling badly, or were they just goofing off? And all the gray caps and all the brown caps and all the blue caps and all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. Come on. So the peddler picked up his caps and put them back on his head. First his own checkered cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, then the red caps on the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap. You know, if Miss Black was anywhere near him and he was selling caps, you know who might buy a cap from him for 50 cents. You know how much I love hats and head wraps. That's the end of that story. So what did you think about that story? As I'm looking at those, you know, monkeys like to play jokes with you and kid around. I don't think, did you think the monkeys were being mean, or were they just playing with the peddler? Raise your hand if you think they were just playing with the peddler. Oh, raise your hand if you think they were being mean on purpose. And then I'll tell you what I think. I think they were just playing around. They were just being silly because they look at that. They thought they looked so cute with those caps on their heads. And I think they look cute too. But they gave his caps back. So it was a happy ending after all. I hope you enjoyed that book. Thank you for coming to read with Miss Black today. And please come back and hear another story. I have lots more stories to read. Make sure you give the person a hug who turned this video on for you. I have lots of cool books. I've got books about the solar system. I have books about thunder and lightning. I'm going to read those soon, just to mix it up a little bit. Okay. Thank you so much. I love you. And remember, my favorite word on earth in the whole wide world is joy. J O Y, joy. It's kind of weird writing it backwards. But thanks again. I love you. Tell someone you love them today. All right? That makes them feel really, really good. See you next time. Bye.